So you got the Yankees Indians on. It's 2-1.
Yeah, the Indians are they had men on first and second, but then they overturned a call.
What happened? I didn't see it.
There was a play at first base, and the ball in the runner and the pitcher all got there at the exact same time. So the umpire initially called them safe, but then they watched the replay and they overturned it. I mean, the umpire, it was a tough call for the umpire. Like, he got him by like an inch,
So what inning is it? 5, 4?
It's the sixth inning, I think, the bottom of the sixth inning.
And they're only down by 1. I mean, they win this game. Do you think it's over, obviously?
Yeah. Oh, that's 3-1. They scored. They must have got a hit. Ooh, yeah, they just scored. The Jimenez just singled in Lane Thomas, so it's 3-1.
Well, they're not going to give up Cleveland. They didn't win, all the games they won, even though that division's a little iffy. They didn't win all those games being has-beens. And
the Yankees can't lose. Listen, the Yankees with Soto and Judge, they can't be losing to the Indians or the Royals or the Tigers. I mean, they're not. I don't think they're going to lose to the Indians. They're going to beat the Indians. Even if the Indians win this game, I still think they're going to beat the Indians. I think the Yankees can still win this game, but they can't lose. They can't lose to one of these teams. I mean, if the Yankees are going to lose, it's going to have to be against the Dodgers or the Mets, or if the Padres made it, it's going to have to be against one of those good teams. Otherwise, that coach is going to get fired.
Yeah, because what's the sense anymore? It's like, again, it says that they could come back 3-1. They could come back, but I agree. Like, those big markets like that, like the Yankees job, you got to win World Series. They don't care about nothing else. Is this series? Is it a 2-3-2?
Yeah, yeah, but I don't even think home field matters in baseball. It's not like basketball or football. It doesn't even matter.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I mean, the only thing you get is you get the last at bat. That's good. The last at bat's good. But as far as the home crowd pumping you up, that I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, you're right. It's just the last at bat you get. Yeah. I don't think it matters too much. Yeah, like these places. It's not like football or basketball where the sound and the fans can really kind of get in you. Like
in football, if you go on the road, some places on the road, you can't audible at the line of scrimmage.
No, like Minnesota, Seattle.
Yeah. So those home field advantages there. I mean, that's real.
Yeah, you made a good point. The only positive thing of the home is the last at bat. I don't think anyone gets their nerves rattled going in. They've all been in these stadiums. They played in them. They play these guys. Yeah, I agree with you. It's not the 2-3-2 is. Did they change that recently, or has that been going on for a while now? MLB 2-3-2.
Yeah, I mean, it's always been going on. It's always been that way. I'm pretty sure. I know it was back like that in '86. Yeah, I mean, yeah. The only reason the NBA changed it. The NBA used to be 2-3-2. Well, no, the NBA changed to 2-3-2. The only reason they did that was because they wanted to be able to fly the entire media crew just twice.
Yep.
So they started in LA the first 2 games. They would take all of the media and fly it to Boston for the next 3 games, and then they'd fly all the media back. The NBA was just media driven. Like David Stern was very media savvy. So he made changes. in the format, the playoff format for the media. But now it doesn't matter. Now the media is all on social media. It doesn't make any difference. They don't even care who's there, who's not there anymore.
Yeah, but you're right. Back in the day when David Stern changed that, he needed to, because all the gear, all the travel, all that stuff. And because it was 2-2-1-1-1, right? That's crazy.
Yeah, it was 2-2-1-1-1. But I think by the time the Lakers and Celtics were good, I think, and then also David Stern's the one, when he came around in the 80s, he's the one that started marketing like Bird and Magic. He's the one that marketed Michael Jordan. He made it about the players.
Yep.
He changed it. But
he made it about the players. And it just happened that the Lakers had Magic and Bird went to Boston, which was big rivals already.
Yeah, the thing is, Boston drafted Bird before his last year of college. It's weird. They drafted Bird when he was a junior, and then he still went to college, but Boston still had him.
Yeah,
People don't realize that when Magic and Bird played in the final in 1979, Indiana State, Michigan State, in the Final Four, when they played in the championship game, Bird was already on the Celtics.
So do they still do that? They can do it a year ahead of time, retain your rights, or no?
No. It was like some hardship draft or something like that. They had until the draft to sign him. They could sign him up until the draft.
And Magic, why didn't the Lakers do that?
Well, Bird was eligible because he was like a fifth-year guy, or there was something. Bird was eligible.
Yeah,
when Bird was drafted, Bird was like 24 years old when he got drafted. He was like 5 years older than Magic.
I know what happened. Didn't he have an extra year because of his transfer from Indiana to
Indiana
State?
Yeah, and he skipped a year too. So, but when Bird was drafted, he was like 23 or 24 years old when he was a rookie.
Yeah, well, those guys, like he probably looked 25 when he was 14. He had that scraggly mustache. He was working on the farm. He looked like a man probably when he was 14, that guy.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get into the sweaty hit list. I think probably a lot of these are on your mind. I mean, number one, let's talk about the trade that the Jets did for Davante Adams.
Yeah, well, that's that's kind of an obvious one. Davante Adams played his whole career at Aaron Rodgers, and and the Jets. I guess the Jets are struggling, but the Jets didn't need Davante Adams. The wide receiver isn't their problem. They got Garrett Wilson. They got that guy Lazard. He's playing fine.
Yeah.
That's not gonna help them. It's not. The other thing
that's the first thing I thought after it happened. I was like,
the other thing is with these wide receivers that turn into divas like Stephon Diggs, getting traded, and Davante Adams, and when they turn into divas, they're useless. They're useless. Like he's going to get there and he's going to play a couple games, and then something's going to happen where either he's going to get upset or Garrett Wilson's going to get upset, and they're going to start tweeting something stupid, or they're going to tweet a meme. They're going to tweet some kind of meme where we're supposed to try to interpret what it means, or they're going to like someone. What they do is they like someone else's tweet. Right? They like someone else's tweet. Like,
it's so childish.
It's so stupid. And then the media is like, oh, I wonder what it means. Like, then you watch the Get Up on ESPN, and they're like, well, he tweeted, he liked this other guy's tweet, so he's clearly unhappy. It's like, it's so dumb. The social media is just there for these diva wide receivers to like communicate in a passive aggressive way. Like when CeeDee Lamb was in that contract negotiation with the Cowboys, he was tweeting some meme, or he'd take down his numbers. He'd take down all the Cowboy logos off. It's stupid. And Davante Adams is still 32 years old. It's like Aaron Rodgers is 40 years old. And the Jets just fired their coach. Like, it's not going to work. Sorry, you're not going to win. Sorry, Jets, you're not going to win again. It's going to be 62 years or whatever it is. You're not going to win.
Yeah, it's
just not going to work.
Funny. You're right. It's funny how like the diva thing with the wide receivers. You don't see an offensive lineman like liking some guy's thing and then saying something, or stop following somebody, or changes his profile picture to nothing. But you're right. Right when that trade happened, I'm like, that doesn't mean anything. Like, the offense wasn't the problem, like you said, and it seems like the offense moved a little better. But then again, they played the Bills, and the Bills' D isn't like the Vikings. But then again, it looks like they worked a little better when Hackett was removed. And I think that's funny. Like, people thought that Aaron Rodgers had something to do with the head coach getting fired. Well, he would have tried to keep Hackett in there to be his offensive coordinator if he had any influence over.
Wait a minute, Hackett wasn't fired?
No, he got moved out though.
He's not calling plays?
No. They got another guy calling plays now. I don't know.
All right. Well, that's Again, I don't pay attention to the Jets. Like, I watched them a couple games this year, and I was like, well, yeah, Aaron Rodgers looks okay. He looks fine. He's not terrible, but he's not going to turn it around for that organization. He's not the answer. Getting a 40-year-old quarterback doesn't erase the last 60 years of quarterback play plus Browning Nagel. It doesn't change anything. Aaron Rodgers is okay. I guess if he was I don't know, if he was on the Niners or something, he'd be better. But the Jets suck. They stink. They always stink.
And it's really funny that you said like it's the offense isn't the problem, and you're right. Their defense was supposed to be this unbelievable defense, and the games against the Vikings and against the Bills, like that last week against the Bills had their backup running back in. Cook was out. They ran all over them. They were going right up the middle, 5 yards a pop, boom, boom, boom.
No,
boom.
the Jets don't have. The Jets are not a good team.
No.
That's it. They're supposed to be this great defensive team. They're supposed to have. I mean, they got Garrett Wilson. He's supposed to be a great player. They got Rodgers. They got the 2 running backs. That supposedly Brees Hall is supposed to be great. Now they got Braylon Allen. He's supposed to be really good. It never works. It's the Jets. It never works. The Jets are the Clippers. They're the Clippers of the NFL. You know, I mean, when the Clippers were the worst team in history every year, the Jets are no good. So the other thing is, if I was Davante Adams, I wouldn't want to go to the Jets. I mean, I know the Raiders are no good, but if you're forcing a trade out of Vegas, really, I got to go play for the Jets? Really? Like, they suck too.
Yeah, he's got to come here. He's got to he's got to go to New York, deal with the weather. He's got to deal with the tax bracket too, like, because he's got no tax in state of Nevada, state tax. And I just think it's like desperate. It's like there's got to be. I know his market value isn't what it used to be, but there's got to be another team that would take him that would be more desirable. And I think your thing about the Jets is completely right. What's happening in New York now is the Giants are so bad, and New York is such a big media market, the biggest media market going, that they have to find something to talk about, and then all these shows get up, and all these shows they have to talk about it too. It's like how they talk about the Lakers, but at least the Lakers are always pretty good. Like, but the Jets, it's like they're 2-4, and the only reason anybody's talking about them because they're better than the Giants, and it's New York and it's football, and they got to talk about somebody. It's stupid.
Yeah, I watched the Jets. The Jets are nothing. The Jets are nothing. The Giants are nothing. And you know what? When Davante Adams went to the Jets, I saw, like, you know, I was whatever, Bleacher Report or whatever. Yeah. I saw the notification. I didn't even care. Like, I was just like, you know, he's out. So he's out of here. You know, okay.
And I'm going to make a bet with you. I'll give you 2 games. In the third game, I guarantee you that there's going to be a riff. Like, Wilson's going to start being bummed out. He's not getting the ball enough.
Yeah, it's not going to work.
Whatever. It's just ridiculous. All right.
Besides, Aaron Rodgers is getting killed. It's amazing that he's still playing. They're killing him. He's tough. I'll tell you that much. He's a tough guy. They're destroying him.
He took a beating against the Bills and the Vikings.
Yeah.
And I thought he was going to get hurt.
No, they're killing him.
He is a tough mother. You know, he really is. But it doesn't matter. They're not going anywhere. They're 2-4. They're not going anywhere. Let's change gears and go back now to Vegas. We're talking about Davante Adams leaving Vegas, and let's talk about the old man who came into the room. Now he went into the room. The old man Tom Brady has entered into the silver and black. I mean,
well, he's a part owner, right? He's a minority owner.
Yeah, and he showed up today, and everybody was there, and he walked into the building. They're all up on the stairs and the rafters.
Yeah.
You know, and they had that rafter. Remember when we were rep by CAA and they had that big circle around rafter on the top? They just would look at you from above in the lobby. Remember they had the stairs and it was open and it was like a coliseum. It was like you were looking down at the people they were gonna crush. But he went there today and he was with Mark Davis obviously and people, you know, obviously clapping, they're excited. I mean, I'd be excited if I was a Raider fan or in the Raider organization that a guy that's won that much and is so dedicated and didn't like have it handed to him is coming to try to help out. I would be pretty cool.
Yeah, but that's not going to work either. It's not. First of all, he's a minority owner, so he's got no say in personnel. He's got no say in anything. I mean, there's a GM and there's a coach in place. Then he's also going to continue broadcasting games for Fox.
How?
So it's nothing. The Raiders are still going to suck.
And is he a minority owner in the Aces too?
No, just the Raiders. Yeah, no.
He's not.
Listen, even if you own the Aces outright, you're a minority owner. The Aces is the stupidest thing. Like, sorry.
No, I get what you're saying. In
You
the
watch those.
realm
You watch that WNBA. You watch them play. Oh my God,
no,
it's painful. It's like watching a bunch of 50-year-old guys play ball at the Y. It's awful. It's awful. It's like, I mean, they give Caitlin so much trouble. She's like the only good player in the whole league. Like, it's awful. It's like watching. It's like us. It's like you and me and like 6 or 7 of us guys playing at the Y. If you sat on the side of the gym, it'd be like watching us play. It'd be like, who are these guys? They can't jump. They can't run. They can't do anything. Can't get up and down the court. Like, it's awful.
They can't even make a layup.
Can't even make a layup.
So Brady, so you don't really whatever you again you don't care. So the first 2 topics you don't even care. You're like whatever.
No, they're to me they're non-starters. They're nothing. They're nothing. Yeah.
Funny. Okay, well, no, that's hilarious.
I'll tell you the third topic. Here's one you're gonna go. I know what you're gonna do because I know your hit list. The third one is probably Jerry Jones's like blow up today. Yeah. Again, like nothing. Like I could care. Like first of all, Jerry Jones is on the radio every Tuesday on that show. I listen to it sometimes, you know, because I follow that local station because there's information there. So I listen to that show, and you know he never says anything. Like he's the worst interview. He's like swear to God, he sounds like Biden. He's just an idiot on the radio. He never says anything even half intelligent. He never says, I don't even know why they put him on. They just put him on just to say that they got Jerry Jones on the station for that, you know, that show. He never gives you anything. He talks about, oh, he's injured, or we don't know if he's going to play, or, you know, he'll say something like last year, 2 years ago, he said, we go as Zeke goes. Like he says the dumbest things, and they put him on every week. I listen to it just to say, oh my God, this guy's so bad. So this week they were asking him some questions, and he got mad. He got mad at the questions, you know, and the questions were nothing. They were just the guys in the radio. They talk about the Cowboys all the time because the Cowboys didn't do anything to improve their team in the offseason. They literally showed up this year with an offensive line with 2 rookies on the offensive line, and not just 2 rookies, but the left tackle used to be a right tackle in college, and the center used to be a guard in college. So they showed up this year with 2 rookies that are switching positions. So the radio guys, they're Cowboys fans, they're pissed off. Right. So they're really mad at Jerry. So they're like really upset because Jerry didn't do anything to improve the team in the offseason. So they're grilling him, you know, and he gets upset. But it was nothing, you know, he threatened to fire them. It was great. He didn't really threaten to fire him. He said, I'll get someone different to ask these questions. Like, I don't. And then later he jumped on a plane after that interview in Dallas. He jumped on his jet and he flew to New York or wherever. He flew wherever because he had owners meetings, right? So he flew to the owners meetings, and there was like 6 or 7 hours of owners meetings where in those owners meetings, Atlanta got the Super Bowl, like 3 or 4 years down the road. Atlanta got the Super Bowl. So when he came out of the owners meeting, there was Diane Rossini. I guess she's an ESPN lady, right? So she interviewed him, and he doubled down, and he said, I'm not going to. He goes, if I'm going to pay someone, I'm not going to pay someone to grill me or something like that. You know, he said, if they're on my payroll, I'm not going to allow that. And they're not even on his payroll. Like that's.
But doesn't he own some of that? That part of that is 104 to Fan Dallas.
No, it's 105.3. He owns none of it. None of it. He doesn't own it. No, he doesn't. He doesn't own the station. He doesn't. None of it. Like the only thing is it's the Cowboys. It's the Cowboys flagship station.
And it's ESPN, right?
I don't know if it's ESPN. Yeah, probably, but it's the flagship station down there. So I don't even know what that means. When they say the flagship station, I don't even know what that means. Like, you know, I don't know.
The top station in the
so they cover the Cowboys or whatever. So maybe Jerry's saying, well, I'm not going to let you guys be the flagship station anymore. But it's ridiculous. Like, it's just ridiculous. He's done a terrible job with the Cowboys, and those radio guys are pissed off at him. That's what that was.
It's weird. Like, yeah, you're the owner. Yeah, you pay the bills, and yeah, you could go to another station. You're probably not going to get the exposure of these guys. It's the best station in Dallas. I know that station. I remember now. But the funny thing is, so he thinks he owns everything. Like Well,
I don't like I listened to the radio station. I listened to the show the next day. Like I tuned in the next day to hear what they were saying, and those radio guys, they were actually pretty good about it. Like they were pretty cool. They said that they're going to give Jerry the benefit of the doubt when he was saying that he'll replace them. They're saying that he probably meant that he would just start doing that interview on another show. Same state, like because he picks that morning show. That's where he does the morning. Yeah. He's been doing that interview for 15 years on that morning show.
All the Dallas fans listen to it.
And so he was just like what those radio hosts were saying is he might have just meant that he'll go to a later show later in the day to do that interview. And also those hosts did say, you know what? We've gotten more out of these interviews with Jerry Jones than he's gotten out of it from us. Like they said, from Jerry coming on their show every week for 15 years, he's made them famous. He's made them like national, names. So they're not like, they weren't really trashing him the next day. They were saying that, they were going to try to give him the benefit of the doubt, but they weren't kissing his ass either. Like they were like, look, he's done a crappy job. He's done the crappiest jobs, so that's it.
And that's all they were asking is why didn't he make like particular moves? Like you were talking about the offensive line. Like why didn't he make particular moves that he could have made? He did. They've drafted weird. They've drafted weird forever. And for the
they draft great. That's the only thing they do well. They draft really well. Like, that's the only thing they do good. He doesn't sign players via free agency. He refuses. And then when he does sign a player on free agency, it's always like the bargain bin. Like he always gets someone after all the big guys sign. When free agency starts sometime in March or whatever it is, he waits 2 or 3 weeks or 4 weeks, and then he signs someone. Like he got Eric Kendricks, the linebacker.
Those guys were just talking about the lack of moves that could improve the team that he's not doing.
Yeah, the draft, those guys know that his drafts are great. Like this year, the draft, they got like 6 or 7 guys that are playing. They're actually playing.
And that's incredible because you really don't know when you draft. Like it's a crapshoot. It could be really good. It could be so. And that's why you do need to make moves in free agency. And that's all these guys wanted to know was that. I just think it's funny because he's so rich. He just thinks it doesn't matter. But he's rich too out of his, oil business. But, he's rich too because of the Cowboys. But the people that are paying the tickets and the people that are following the Cowboys and buying the merch and everything, like, they do want to know things. They do want to know why didn't we go get that guy or what's going to be the plan.
He talks about it, but again, when you listen to Jerry, he doesn't say anything. It's like listening to Biden. Yeah, it's like listening to some blithering, like he's not lucid. Like he doesn't have all his marbles. And so when you're listening to him, you're just like, I don't even know what the hell he's talking about. Like he doesn't make any sense.
And it's a shame because that fan base, they're loyal and that fan base is huge.
But the thing is, though, that fan base hasn't gone through a lot. They just came off of 3 12-win seasons, and they're 3-3. Like that fan base isn't the Jets fan base or the Cleveland Browns fan base. So I don't even feel sorry for them. Like they haven't had it that bad. What are they? I know they haven't. They're not good in the playoffs, but at least they get there all the time. At least they got a good team.
Yeah, they got 5 Super Bowls.
Yeah, but not since 1995.
Yeah, I know. They got 5.
Yeah.
And Pitt's got 6?
6. Yeah, they got 6, and New England's got 6.
Yeah. So, I know they haven't had it in a long time, but, come on. It's like, like you said, they're still competitive. We're not talking about the Jets. So maybe that's why he gets pissed too, Jerry, because he's like, I do put a good product on the field. I don't do what everybody wants me to do, but we are winning games and we're making playoffs. I mean, maybe that's,
But he doesn't say that, though. That's the thing. Like, when he's talking, he's literally yammering. I listen to him all the time. I don't understand anything he's saying. I'm like, what is he talking about? Like, he just says the dumbest things. Like, he says, he says, well, what do you want me to do? He says, you want me to go get 20 new players during the bye week? He's like, that's not going to happen. He says, my team is my team. Meanwhile, while he's talking, the Bills are trading for Amari Cooper, who he dumped for nothing. And the Jets are trading for Davante Adams, for a 3rd-round pick. So he's saying, hey, what do you want me to do? You want me to get more players? And they're getting more players all around them. Like everyone's getting more players.
And he's got those the big honchos on D still out. He's
right. Well, even when they're in, they stink. Even when those guys are playing, they're terrible. Like
why does he make a move for Reddick, who the Jets are giving permission for him to leave?
He doesn't make a move for anybody. I don't know.
That would be a good move to make on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah, he just signs guys to the practice squad that you never heard of.
So weird.
He's terrible. Listen, he's terrible. Like he talks too much to the media. He doesn't know what he's saying to the media. He's not media savvy. That's the other thing. He's not like, he doesn't know how to handle the media. He doesn't know what he's doing with the media. Like, and then all the other thing is nobody likes him. There's no one in the media that likes him. No one says, "Oh my God, that guy Jerry's great. Like, we love him." He's an idiot. Like, what's he even going near the media for? He's better off. Better off just saying nothing and just I don't. He loves talking to the media. They say that he'll talk to a parking meter, like if there was a microphone on it. He just doesn't care.
He does talk too much because you got to think about owners. What other owner in the NFL is talking as much as him or equal? Nobody.
I don't even know. I don't remember the last time I've seen the owner of the Steelers. I don't even know, like one of those Rooney guys that's got to be like the great grandson by now. I don't even remember the last time I seen him.
Because you let Tomlin talk, the coach talks, and then maybe the GM talks.
The GM doesn't even talk.
Maybe Jerry just likes the limelight, Tommy.
He loves talking to the media, and he's really bad at it. So this guy loves doing something that he's terrible at. I don't get it. It's like if you were the worst golfer in the world, would you still play every day? No. This guy's terrible.
It's too bad, but whatever. He's a billionaire. The team's still good. I think those guys did the right thing. They were just looking for answers. They weren't even being jerks about it. They just were asking questions. Like, he's going to get those questions. Well, and did that girl journalist? She asked him probably the same questions. Because she wanted to.
She asked him about what happened. She asked him about what happened earlier in the day. That's what she asked him about. She said, because by the time he got off the plane in New York, it was already a national story. It wasn't just a local Dallas story. And after it hit, I went on YouTube and I listened to it. Right. I watched the show, and then Jerry was on the phone. I listened to it. And it's funny, they were talking, and then all of a sudden it just started getting like cringy and cringier. Like the more he talked, like I was just going, oh, like just so, like he was just getting so upset over nothing. And it was like nails on a chalkboard when he was talking. It was just like, and I was like, oh my God, it's so cringy right now. Like, just shut up, and he just kept going. And then it ended okay. He said, okay, listen, guys, you take care. I got to go, and it ended fine. But there was like a 2 or 3 minute like part of it in the middle where it was the cringiest interview you ever want to hear. You should listen to it. It's so bad.
I'll go listen to it after the show because I was trying. The guys, I could tell the guys.
But isn't that the word? Isn't that the word for Jerry? Isn't he kind of cringy? Like, isn't he? He's just so creepy. And when he talks, like, he doesn't say anything. He doesn't even give you any information. He doesn't ever say anything salient or smart or intelligent. He says nothing. Like, he's just cringy. Every time he opens his mouth, you're just like, oh, don't talk.
So his middle name it's Jerry Cringy Jones.
Cringy. Oh, like, shut up.
Guess who's coming on? Guess who's going to be coming on here? We got Father Tony. I think Father Tony's probably pumped because last week everybody was hot on Bless Our Bets. Father Tony was hot. You were hot. I was hot. So we got to get Father Tony in here.
He didn't bless the bets last week. He refused.
No, he did at the end. Remember, he said he still blessed it at the end. He had the bells and everything. He said he was not going to go with the scenario that he thought was a dream, I think, or a nightmare, that they were telling him not to do it. I think he did at the end. So let me get him in here. Let me change my windows here. Where is he? Got to get the windows. He's drinking already. What the heck's he doing? Hang on there, Father Tony. I'm sorry.
Hey.
There he is. There he is, Father Tony. How are you this evening,
So, Father?
Good.
Did you hear the conversation about Jerry Jones and the interview and that whole thing?
Yeah, he can't talk, but he likes to talk. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, who do we know like that?
Lots of guys.
Yeah. Yeah. and I did bless the bets. Remember, I said I had what I thought might have been a vision, but I couldn't be sure because I got
I remember.
I got into the Sacramento wine. I can't be sure if it was a vision or what do you call
I remember, Father. Yes, thank you. Hey, listen, I went undefeated last week. I went 3-0, so I'm 10-5 on the year, which is a good number. You know, it's a good number. We together, the three of us, we won a collective 8-1, right, Barry?
Smoke, yeah,
8-1. I mean, the only loss was one of your picks.
The Saints.
But you picked the Saints. I picked against the Saints. I picked Tampa Bay, right? And I'm sorry to say that the Denver's not my official pick, but I'm picking against the Saints again tonight. Like, I don't think I think Sean Payton's going to have a happy reunion back in New Orleans tonight.
So, Father Tony, what do you think of that last week? 8-1. That's pretty impressive, isn't it?
Yeah. Have you guys been doing that good since you started getting your blesses your bets blessed?
Well, Tom's 10-5.
I'm 10-5. I was 2-1 each of the first 3 weeks with you on board helping out. So you helped me there. I went 1-2 1 week, and then I came out 3-0. So yeah, 10-5 is a good. It's a good showing for the first 5 weeks.
Yeah,
right? We didn't do it the first week.
Was I on?
9 and something. I think I'm 8. I got 8 wins. I'm like 8-7.
All right.
Yeah.
Tommy's 10-5, and then your week. This was a huge week for you at 2-1. If you just stayed away from your religious thinking of the Saints and just said, I don't have to bet the Saints, and you just tried another pick, you might have been undefeated too. Like Tommy.
So should I change my pick for tonight?
Well,
listen, Father Tony, it's in our opinion, in our expert opinions, the Saints are going to drag you down. I know that's sacrilegious to say, but
it's kind of like this, Father Tony. The Saints have a lot of guys that are injured, and they got substitutes in. So it's like this.
Okay. So on behalf of that, mitigating circumstances, they got guys injured.
That's why you lost. So it's very similar to, like, they want you to go to the Vatican, and they're having this big thing with all these priests coming from all over the world, but like half of the really good ones can't make it because they got pulled hamstrings or something, and they can't get on a plane or they're sick or whatever. And so they have to bring the backups in. So maybe, they're bringing some other backups.
Because there's probably a lot of priests with pulled hamstrings.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they stand up. They got to stand up during a mass. The mass is like an hour and a half if you do the full communion and peace be with you, our fathers and Hail Marys and everything. It's over an hour, so you got to stand up, and they're older. You could definitely hurt your hamstring. So it's kind of like that, Father Tony. They go to the Vatican, and it wouldn't be that they have to sit there and do a really long mass at the Vatican, and they can't perform during the whole mass. It's very similar.
Barry,
Father, you know what?
How long has it been? How long has it been since you've been to church, Barry?
Well, I go to church in my mind.
All right. Because here it's obvious you haven't been to church in a long time. So long that you forgot. It's not just standing. It's an aerobic workout. You stand, you sit, you kneel. You go to confession, you eat the wafer, there's, you drink the wine. There's a lot of stuff going on. All right. It's not just standing.
No, it's an aerobics class. That's where aerobics was originally designed from a mass.
Absolutely. That was
your stand, kneel, sit, stand, kneel, sit, kneel, stand, sit. Yeah.
Down, yeah.
Hey, Father, one of the last times when I was still going to church with my family, I think I was in high school. I was with my family, my parents, my brother, and there was 4 of us in the pew. And then there was another family, all sharing the same pew. And we were doing the peace be with you. And the priest would walk down the middle aisle, and he would start it in each row, say peace be with you. And then you pass it all down. And so one time we were going, we passed it all down. And there was like this hot chick sitting next to me, right? That, she was from school, but I didn't really recognize her. and I was embarrassed. So when we did the Peace Be With You, it came from, my brother, my father, my mother to me, and I stopped it. Like I didn't pass it down. Like I froze, right? I just stopped the Peace Be With You in that row. If my mother almost killed me, like she said, "What are you doing? You send that Peace Be With You down that row." So I don't know what, I mean, it's a bad sign if you stop the Peace Be With You, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you were shy. What can you do, right? Yeah, you wanted a piece of her. You didn't want.
Yeah, I mean, I was confused with the.
That is true. But also, Father Tony, aren't you supposed to go to the people behind you too? Isn't that regulation?
Yeah, me and my brother.
But this way, like you do that too. But this way, he was doing it just down the row, so he was going to each row.
Okay.
He was going all the way down the middle, and he was doing each row.
Down the big piece.
Yeah,
yeah. Before I had my calling, my mother and father would take me to church, and my brother and I, when that piece, because you turn around, you go peace. Me and my brother would just look at each other and go.
Yeah, I didn't like it. That was an addition. When did they add that in? I don't like that. I don't remember that from the beginning.
The Peace Be With You was the greatest part of church because it meant there was only 3 minutes left.
That's right.
I love the Peace Be With You. The masses end. He would say, "The masses ended. You may go in peace," and I'd be like, "Thank God." Ugh. I couldn't take it.
Tony, did you ever get upset with some of the young kids who would they did it on purpose? You have to put the kneeler up and down, and they would make loud noises with the kneeler just to be jerks. You ever have a confrontation with any young kids about it?
I don't say much. They're gonna figure it out when they get to the afterlife, banging around the kneeler like that.
Yeah,
that's they know why. They know why they're doing it. They know why they're doing it.
Great.
You got to respect the property of the church. You let it down slowly and back up because you don't want to disturb.
You're disrespecting the congregation. You're disrespecting the priest performing the mass. You're disrespecting the church's equipment. Furniture.
I love it, Father.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna. So this.
Hey, what's this from? Don't disrespect the pizza parlor. What's that from?
Don't disrespect the pizza. That's some Sopranos.
Hey, there you go. Very good, Father. Very good.
Yeah.
Don't disrespect the pizza parlor.
Don't disrespect. That's right.
What is that from? Do the right thing.
Sopranos.
No, Sopranos.
Don't disrespect the pizza.
It's when Jackie Jr. was jealous that Christopher got his stripes.
Yeah.
And then he got in a fight with some poor guy who just got a slice of pizza, and Jackie hit the pizza in the air and the thing everywhere. And he said, "I know where you live."
Yeah.
All right, so we're into week 7. Tommy's 10-5. I've got 8 wins and 7 losses. Father, I don't have your career record, but we're just going to go that you're above 500 because I believe you are. And this last week of being 8-1, all of us, I think there's a big collection that's going to come the way of your little at the
collection plate. Yeah,
we're gonna put. But you don't use a plate, right? Don't you use that wicker thing with the red velvet in it?
The basket.
Yeah, it's wicker with a red velvet. I love that.
Yeah. We just call it the collection plate.
Remember when they do you ever use the line from Coming to America? When they said, "We love your donations. We like the ones that jingle, but we love the ones that fold."
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. How much do you want to get into the Lord's domain? How much?
Yeah.
How much?
All right. So let's get right to it. So Tommy, week 7, we'll go Tommy first. Pick your 3 games, and tonight's Thursday game is Denver, New Orleans. I don't know if you're in on that, but go ahead, Tommy T, and let's see what you got.
Well, Barry, I'm going to have to do it again, but my number 1 pick is going to be the Lions over the Vikings in Minnesota. The Lions are getting 1.5. So if the Vikings win 23-22, I still win the bet there. Right. I got to take the Lions. I got to take the Lions after that debacle, after that demolition of the Cowboys last week. You got to figure that the Lions are going to be riding high. The only thing is, their best defensive player, Hutchinson, he broke his leg, but he didn't just break his leg. It was a compound fracture. So I mean, it was really bad. It
That
was
means the little bone and the big bone, right?
yeah, broke both bones.
What do they call those tibia? What is it?
Tibia and fibula.
Yeah, he needs Father Tony to do a blessing on his freaking leg.
Yeah, no doubt.
Father Tony. Buddy. That thing was all out of whack.
Yeah, that was awful. And but I like the Lions over Minnesota, and I'm also going to take the 49ers over Kansas City in San Francisco. I like the 49ers. They haven't really been playing that well, but I'd like them to play one of their better games of the year. And the Chiefs are undefeated, but they haven't been playing that well either. I don't really think the Chiefs have been playing that great this year. They're one of the few remaining undefeated teams. The Vikings and the Chiefs, I think both undefeated teams are going to go down this week. So I'm picking that. And then my surprise pick is I'm going to take the Carolina Panthers +8 in Washington.
Oh, my God.
I know everyone is riding high on Washington. Everyone thinks Washington is one of the better teams in the league this year, and they're very much improved. But I expect the Panthers to play a tough game and find a way to slow down Jaden Daniels a little bit. I think Washington's still going to win that game, but it's an 8-point spread, and I like the 8 points. So that's Carolina plus the 8, the Lions +1.5, and the Niners -1.5.
Yeah, so Father Tony, he's going against the Washington team, which you can't stand anyway.
I was gonna pick that. I was gonna make that bet too. I was gonna ask you something about it.
All right, why don't you go now, and we're all yours here. Let's see what you got.
Okay. Well, listen. Based on mitigating circumstances, I'm gonna go with Denver over New Orleans tonight. Mitigating circumstances. We're dealing with not a full roster here, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So because of that, I can't go with the Saints, who I would never bet against. All right, God understands.
Wow, I hope God understands that.
Yeah. Hey, if I lose, then he didn't understand. All right, so that's it. Exactly. I like the Jaguars over the Patriots. That's what I picked for Sunday. And listen, because I got involved with you two guys and I listened to the jargon and I did a little research, and I found out that the Washington Mamalukes, they're up, right? They're a favorite in this, right?
Big favorite,
right.
Big favorite.
So, because I'm never going to vote for those monkeys, I think that I would like Carolina in that.
All right, Tommy.
So if I take Carolina and the points, that's a good bet, right? Based on
that's where I'm going too.
That's what I heard. That's what I wanted to ask you guys about.
Yeah.
So I saw that if since they're favored, and I ain't betting for them, if I take the points, that's kind of like evens it out a little bit, right?
Yes.
That's how it works.
That's how it works.
Okay,
you could lose by 7 points and still win.
That's what I'm talking about.
You got 8 points. Okay. Those are very interesting because everyone's on the Washington Mamalukes bandwagon. Everybody's on that bandwagon.
Another reason to hate them. A bandwagon team.
Everybody loves them. And Tommy is doing something interesting by going against the 2 undefeated teams. And one of those teams is home and one's away, but those are ballsy moves. The Panthers is the biggest ballsy move, but you know what? There's always time for an upset. You never know what's going to happen. And with you two guys picking that Panthers game, that's interesting. Like you probably don't think they're going to win, but for some time, tell Father Tony how when you have like +8 points or +7 points and you get a backdoor win because you get a touchdown late.
Yeah, because the way this game goes is that the Washington, the Commanders, if you will, they could be up by 15 points. They could be up by 15 points, right? So, they could be up by 14 points, say. The game's over. Like, the game is essentially over, but, Carolina has the ball late. So, they're driving down maybe the last 30 or 40 seconds of the game. They're driving down for a touchdown. Washington doesn't have their main guys in the game anymore because they already won the game. And what happens is Carolina can get a late touchdown that doesn't really affect the outcome of the game, but we win. So, and it happens a lot.
As far as betting is concerned.
Yeah. Because you got that +8 points or 7. It happens a lot. the team just let them go down. There's a minute and a half left. They just go down. They end up losing the game by 7.
And the flip side of that works like this. It could be that Carolina's only down by 2 or 3 points, or 4 or 5 points. It could be down. It could be a close game. Carolina could be driving. Now we're already good. We're covered. We're in, right? They could be driving for the winning touchdown. And while they're trying to score the winning touchdown, they throw a pick 6. Washington picks it off, goes the other way, scores a touchdown, and we lose. All of a sudden, we're like, how did that happen? Like we're looking good.
Okay, so this week I'm learning about points, base and bet on points. Next week, maybe I'll work on bait the hook, or snort the line, whatever it is. What is? I don't know what it is.
The hook. Well, I'm gonna do.
What is it? Bait the hook, fish the hook. I don't know.
I'm gonna show you a couple hook ones right now.
Okay.
So I'm Mr. Over Under. I don't pick the games, Father Tony. I get too scared. I just like to pick the teams and try to get the total score of the two teams over. There's some people that got big balls, and they'll bet the game under. To bet a game under, you got to have teams with good defenses, and you got to sit there and you bite down on your tongue as you watch the game, because anytime someone scores, right, in either team, it's drawing the points up. You got to have a lot of balls to bet unders. I don't have the heart to do it. I'll have a heart attack if I try it. It's only once in a blue moon. So I usually bet the overs. So I'm going to explain the hook, betting the hook. So what I'm going to do is, here's my bets. I'm taking the Lions and the Vikings over. And the line is 50.5 points, 50.5. So I'm going to lay a little extra money, extra 10 or 20 bucks to make it 50. Because I don't want it to end up as a 50 total, and I bet 50.5. Then I lose by a half. So I'm betting the hook down. If I was betting the under, you bet the hook up. You buy the half a point up. But I always bet the over. So if it's got a little half hook, the half is the hook.
So to buy those points back, you need to bet a percentage of your total amount. So if you're putting down $100, what would the hook, buying the hook be? That would
what
be.
Is it, Tommy? Like an extra $20 sometimes? 10?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's a percentage.
20%.
So it's a percentage of the total bet.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm getting it.
So
All
but
right.
he's also, listen, Father, he's also going to bet the over for Kansas City and San Francisco too.
No, not taking that one.
Really?
I don't trust that one. I think I have a weird feeling about the defenses on those teams that I don't think it's going to happen. I don't know if San Fran's going to score as many as they need to. And the Chiefs, San Fran plays them tough. I don't trust that game. My next over game is going to be the Seahawks and the Falcons. Okay. And that one is 51.5, 51.5. So I'm going to buy the hook down on that and make it 51. The Seattle Seahawks and the Falcons. That's my second over under. And then my third, I'll give Tommy one more guess if he can guess Barry D's third over under bet.
Well, the lowest over under line is the Jets and Steelers at 38.5, which is super low at 20-19, and you win that game. So even though those teams have a hard time scoring, but I'm thinking that's going to be your third over, the Jets and the Steelers.
Now my third over is Monday Night Football with Kurt Gowdy. Monday Night Football is.
Okay. Yeah, you're doing Baltimore and Tampa Bay.
Yeah, O.J. Simpson, Frank Gifford, and Howard Cosell, Monday Night Football. And I'm going to take the Ravens and the Buccaneers. And the Ravens-Buccaneers is 49.5. So, again, I'm going to buy the hook and bring it down to 49. That game's probably the lock of the overs. I just think those teams are going to run up and down the field, up and down the field. So those are my three over-unders. I have confidence in those three like I had in my other three last week. Tommy's, I have confidence in – yours are tough this week, Tommy. Last week, if you remember, Father, we could rewind the tape, Tommy picked his 3 picks last week, and I said to him, those lines are low. He was only giving up 2 points, 3 points. And I said, those 3 games are weird. They're going to be blowouts. You're going to win all 3 of those games in a blowout. And what happened, Tommy?
Blowouts.
All 3 of them were blowouts. Pittsburgh blew out the Las Vegas Raiders. The Lions blew out the Cowboys, and the
Tampa Bay blew out the Saints. Yeah.
And those lines were only -3. Tommy, what was the closest of those games? Like
the Steelers was the closest game, 22-7 or something like that.
Look at that. Buccaneers were 51-27.
Yeah.
Steelers were 22-13. You're right.
Yeah, that was the closest game. Yeah.
Closest game.
Yeah.
I mean, so that I don't know this week, guys. I'm a little nervous about the Lions. I'm nervous because I can't say they'll win, even though I know it's going to be a very difficult game for the Vikings. San Fran seems like they have KC's number, and I think that's a good bet, Tommy. The Panthers bet that you both have is very interesting, but I have a feeling that's a bet that you guys are going to be the only guys that are going to win it. I think people are jumping on the Washington Mama Luke's, Father Tony, for I don't know what reason. And I think you guys are going to be some of the few people to pick the Panthers.
Father, but this is off the subject real quick before I got to go. I got to get out of here. But, hey, what do you think about Shohei Ohtani?
Yeah, great guy. Nice guy. I like him. Yeah. Yeah, he's a good egg. I like that. What are you talking? What are you busting my balls for?
But do you watch him?
He's the greatest baseball player this year. Shohei Ohtani, the Japanese guy that's like Babe Ruth.
Oh, yeah. What team is he playing for?
He's on the Dodgers. He says, great guy.
You got to watch him, Father Tony.
Get out of here, Dodgers.
This is just a sidebar, but Tommy's right. You're going to watch him because I'm going to tell you something. You watch him hit, Father Tony. He's gigantic.
Now, listen, I love baseball. But get out of here with the Dodgers.
Okay. So who's your team?
Yankees.
Okay. Well, they're up 4-3. They hit 2 home runs in the 8th inning.
Wait, what?
Yeah, Judge hit a 2-run homer, and Stanton followed with a back-to-back homer. They're up 4-3. Yeah, I told you.
Well, Father Tony, you're going to get your wish. It's going to be the Yankees and the Dodgers most likely. But you got to promise me the next time the Dodgers play, just watch one time that he bats. He's gigantic, but this is the thing about him that I know.
His first name is Shohei.
He's not
Shohei. Shohei. His last name is Ohtani. Ohtani.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shohei Ohtani.
Shohei Ohtani.
Listen, Father, he has an interpreter, right? Last year he had an interpreter, right, to help with the interviews and everything. Yeah, the interpreter tapped into his account and stole $16 million while he was gambling the whole year.
Father Tony, he needed you to bless his bets.
Father,
listen. He needed me to send Rocco and Louie over there to go talk to him. That's what he needed.
Listen, he somehow got it. I don't know how he did it, but he lost $16 million betting on games and everything. You got to look up the story. It's hilarious.
Okay.
So he needed you to help Father Tony, but the guy was 0 for Sunday every Sunday. The guy couldn't pick. He couldn't pick.
And here's the best part. Ohtani speaks English. I don't even know what the interpreter was doing here.
So wait a minute. So did he fire him?
He speaks English. I don't even know what's going on. He could be on this show with us right now. He speaks so well.
Yeah, right.
I mean, did they fire the guy?
We make good shows.
Fired him. He's in jail.
You don't
he's
speak.
in jail.
Yeah, he's in jail.
Wait, they had to press charges against him?
Yeah, it's like all kinds of federal banking laws and everything. Hey, listen, guys, I gotta go, man. But great show again. Good luck with the picks.
Quick blessing.
Bless the bets real quick.
Yeah, quick.
Bow your heads. Dear Lord, we ask for your divine intervention in all areas of our bets. May we be blessed with good fortune and luck. Guide these players towards success and let your favor shine upon us. In nomine Patris et Filii et Spiritus Sancti. Hey,
namaste.
God bless, Father Tony. Let's have another great week 7, guys. Tommy already took off on us. Father Tony, thank you very much for your time. We appreciate it.
Absolutely.
God bless you and your congregation.
Praise God for Christ's sake.